There's a red hot team that is quietly flying under the radar out in the Western Conference. I haven't heard this team talked about very much in the media. They are an extremely fun team to watch. This team is, over the past couple of weeks, the number one team in the NBA against the spread. So even Vegas has not even caught up with this team. The Phoenix Suns are getting slept on right now. The Phoenix Suns have assembled a sneakily well-built team based on a foundation that, if you haven't listened to the show before, you and I, Jeff, believe here on Hot Hand Theory, and that's the concept of synergy, which is getting a collection of players that can all be the best versions of themselves when they play together. So not independently, but all together at the same time. And in my opinion, when teams have really high expectations and don't perform to the standards of what you might expect based on their talent level, they don't perform corroborate with their actual talent level. That's because guys aren't often able to play at their actual talent level because they're like sacrificing, which, Jeff, is seen as a virtue in the NBA, the idea of sacrificing. But to me, it's best when guys are not I mean, we can talk about minutes or something like that, and that's one thing. But you don't want to sacrifice being the best version of yourself. That's not helping your team. And the Suns seem to have internalized some very important lessons from their previous iterations. And then now, very quickly, built one of the most fun, the most synergistic, the most fundamentally sound, and according to all of the data and Vegas and all of these other things, one of the most overperforming teams in the NBA. So there's a million places to start specifically with the Suns. Where do you want to go first with this, Jeff?
It's weird because when you look at just you run through the numbers, you watch the team, I feel like the natural place to start would be Devin Booker. It would just be like Booker's had a very strange career arc. He had those teams where he was by far the best player, but they didn't really amount to much. Then they had the perfect team. We actually talked about it in the first year of our show. Like, they had the perfect team construction, that 2021 and 2022 team that got upset by Dallas in 7 games. That was the best team in the NBA that year. That team should have won the title. It was a perfect team. And for whatever reason, the front office said to itself, like, oh, we need to go away from this. We need to hunt stars. And they went away from the synergy of the team. They basically did the opposite of what you were talking about. And surprise, surprise, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker couldn't be maximized together. That big time shocker there. And they made these trades to get these stars. And I don't know about you, XJ, but this offseason, when we were running through the teams, I was like, man, we're never going to talk about the Suns. Like, it's just never going to happen. They're in such a bad spot. They're just in hell right now. What are they supposed to do? Like, they're giving away picks. They've lost all their players. I don't really know what they're supposed to do. And then they hired a guy by the name of Jordan Ott. And that's where I want to start, because I think he is the number one reason why all the things you said are true and why they're flourishing in a very specific way. And when you look at the type of basketball that they're playing right now, the style that they're playing, where they're shooting their shots, how they're passing the ball, that all falls under deployment. It's not that these guys were never capable of it, but their coach is incentivizing them to do so, and he's pushing certain principles on them that encourage them to do these things and play this way. So, you take a look at guys like Royce O'Neal, guys like Dillon Brooks, Grayson Allen. These are all very, very on their own. They've proven to be good role players in a vacuum. But you put them together, you put them around Devin Booker, a guy who has proven to be a star, and then you encourage them to play the optimal style for each of their skill sets. You're starting to see how a group of guys that was clearly underrated in the offseason, not only can the whole be great, can it match the sum of its parts? It can exceed it, and that's what's happening in Phoenix. And I don't want to give too much credit, but I think a huge share of the credit goes to Jordan Ott and what he's doing.